If you enjoyed this audiobook, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with your friends and family helps spread knowledge. And when we help others grow, we grow too. Thank you so much for listening. Let's dive into the book. Chapter 1. The Spark Within. Part 1. Why We Struggle. Think about the last time you set a goal, maybe to exercise regularly, learn a skill, or stop procrastinating. You started strong, but then life happened. That project deadline loomed, your couch felt too comfortable, or you thought, why bother? I'll probably fail anyway. This happens to everyone. In this section, we'll explore why self-discipline feels so hard sometimes. You'll see how fear, distraction, and doubt quietly sabotage our best intentions, and why even highly accomplished people face these battles. Understanding these hidden traps is your first real step toward lasting change. Consider Lena, a graphic designer who dreamed of starting her own business. She'd block time for planning every Sunday, but when the moment came, she'd clean her apartment instead. Why? A quiet fear whispered, if you try and fail, you'll prove you're not good enough. This fear of failure isn't laziness, it's a protective instinct. Your brain avoids risks to shield you from shame or disappointment. But here's the twist. Avoiding effort guarantees stagnation. When have you held back because failing felt too painful? Then there's instant gratification. Picture Raj, a college student aiming to study 2 hours nightly. On Tuesday, he opens his textbook, then notices a streaming app. One episode turns into 3 because the immediate buzz of entertainment beats the slow burn of learning. Our brains are wired to prefer quick rewards. It's how humans survived scarcity. But modern life bombards us with distractions, making discipline feel like swimming against a current. What small pleasure recently pulled you off track? Self-doubt magnifies these struggles. Take Elena, a nurse training for a marathon. After missing 2 runs, she thought, I'm just not a disciplined person, and quit. That label became her reality. We often see discipline as something you're born with, a myth that ignores how habits form. Research shows willpower acts like a muscle. It tires with use but strengthens with practice. Even celebrated authors and athletes have days they skip work or skip workouts. The difference? They view slip-ups as data, not destiny. Have you ever let one setback define your potential? These barriers, fear, distraction, doubt, feed off isolation. We compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to others' highlight reels, forgetting that everyone fights hidden battles. A CEO might scroll social media when they should strategize. A chef might crave junk food after cooking all day. Recognizing this universality is freeing. It means your struggles aren't personal flaws. They're human. And since discipline is a skill, not a superpower, you can improve it deliberately. What if your last failure was just practice? The good news? These challenges share a weakness. They crumble when met with awareness. Notice when fear masquerades as fatigue or when distraction feels urgent. That moment of recognition is where real discipline begins. In the next section, you'll see how tiny, consistent actions build unstoppable momentum. For now, simply acknowledge your barriers without judgment. They're not roadblocks. They're signposts pointing toward growth. Part 2. The Power of Small Steps. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, feeling too exhausted to climb. Yesterday's section showed how common that exhaustion is. A human struggle, not a flaw. Now picture taking just one small step up the path, then another. This section reveals how those tiny, consistent actions create unstoppable progress. You'll learn to break down any goal into manageable pieces, making change feel possible today. Discover why focusing on daily effort beats waiting for motivation. See real people transform their lives through simple routines. By the end, you'll have a practical method to build momentum, one small win at a time. Consider Carlos, who dreamed of writing a novel but felt paralyzed by the scale of it. He'd stare at the blank page thinking 50,000 words is impossible. Then he shifted his approach. Instead of targeting a whole chapter, he committed to writing one sentence every morning, just one. On busy days, that sentence often became a paragraph. In 6 months, he finished his first draft. Why did this work? Small actions bypass resistance. Your brain doesn't trigger overwhelm when the task seems trivial. What's one goal you've postponed because it felt too big? This principle works like a savings account. Deposit $1 daily, and interest compounds silently. Miss a day? No penalty, Just add another dollar tomorrow. Anya used this for fitness. After years of failed gym memberships, she started with 5 minutes of stretching at home. When that felt easy, she added a 2-minute plank. Within a year, she was training for a 10K race. Tiny efforts build neural pathways, making each action easier to repeat. Research confirms habits form through repetition, not willpower. Could you link a new habit to an existing one, like doing squats while brushing your teeth? Breaking goals down requires clarity. Say you want to declutter your home. Tidy the garage might stall you. Instead, try organize one shelf today. Eli applied this to debt repayment. Facing $20,000 in loans, he focused on finding an extra $5 daily, skipping coffee runs or selling old clothes. He celebrated every $100 paid, which kept him motivated. These micro-wins release dopamine, training your brain to associate effort with reward. Consistency trumps intensity. Ben dreamed of learning guitar but quit after cramming practice on weekends. His fingers ached and progress stalled. Then he switched to 6 minutes daily. 3 months later, he played his first song flawlessly. Daily repetition creates deeper mastery than sporadic bursts. What's a skill you could practice for 5 minutes a day? Start smaller than you think. The 2-minute rule helps. If a habit takes less than 120 seconds, do it immediately. Dina used this to read more. She began with read 1 page. Most nights she read 10. If she skipped a day, no guilt, just 1 page the next evening. This builds trust in your ability to show up. Your next section will explore how connecting these small steps to a deeper purpose fuels resilience. For now, identify one change you want. Break it into a daily action so simple it's nearly effortless. Do it tomorrow, then repeat. Part 3. Finding your why. Small actions build momentum, but what keeps you going when the first rush of excitement fades? Imagine 2 people waking up at 5 a.m. One does it because a blog suggested it. The other, like Ben, does it to study for certification that would let him support his sick mother. When the alarm rings, Ben's deeper purpose makes hitting snooze unthinkable. Your personal motivation, your why, turns discipline from a battle into a natural choice. This section shows how uncovering your core reasons creates lasting resilience using practical methods anyone can apply. You'll discover how to link daily efforts to what matters most, making perseverance automatic even on tough days. Think about Leo, who struggled with morning runs until he asked himself, why run? Initially, he said to lose weight. Digging deeper, he realized it was to see his daughter graduate without breathing problems. Her asthma worried him. That connection made rainy day jogs feel purposeful. When your actions align with values, resistance weakens. What's one thing you do out of obligation that could become meaningful if reframed? Finding your why involves peeling back layers. Start by naming a goal, say saving money. Ask why repeatedly. To buy a house becomes to create family stability, which might reveal so my kids feel secure. This third layer answer often sparks emotion, making discipline feel like honoring a promise rather than following a rule. Maya used this when learning coding. Her surface goal was career change, but her core why, creating apps for her visually impaired sister, got her through frustrating bugs. Research shows people with strong purpose recover 50% faster from setbacks. When Ben failed his first certification attempt, his mother's photo on his desk refocused him within hours. Without that anchor, he might have quit. Purpose transforms fatigue into fuel. How would tomorrow feel if you connected your hardest task to someone you love? Practical exercise. Tonight, write one current aim. Below it, draw 3 arrows. At each arrow, answer, why does this matter? Go deeper each time. Leo's looked like exercise, lose weight, keep up with daughter, be present for her milestones. Tape this where you'll see it daily. When motivation dips, rereading the final line reactivates your drive. This foundation prepares you for early wins. When Ben passed his exam, it wasn't just a career step. It proved he could honor his commitment to family. That first victory becomes unstoppable momentum when fueled by meaning. Your next section will show how to leverage that triumph. For now, what's the third layer why behind your most important goal? Part 4. The first win. That first real success, no matter how small, changes everything. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain you thought unconquerable, then suddenly finding solid ground under your feet. This section explores how achieving an initial goal sparks profound psychological shifts. We'll see how an early win builds confidence like nothing else, turning abstract discipline into lived proof of your capability. Through relatable stories, you'll learn practical ways to design these pivotal moments and harness their momentum. These victories become psychological anchors, reminding you during tough times, I did this before, I can do it again. Consider Ben from our last discussion. His accounting exam pass wasn't just a career step, it became physical evidence that he could honor promises to his daughter. For weeks after, he noticed a shift. Mornings felt lighter. When faced with new tasks, his inner voice stopped whispering, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "How soon can I start?" Research shows early successes rewire our brains. Dopamine surges strengthen neural pathways linking effort to reward. Suddenly, discipline feels less like deprivation, more like possibility. Let's meet Chloe, who dreamed of writing a novel but felt overwhelmed. Her first win strategy? She committed to writing 75 words daily, roughly 3 sentences. For context, this paragraph is 50 words. On day 8, she finished a scene. That tiny completion flooded her with validation. She printed those pages, taped them above her desk, and began adding 25 words weekly. Within months, her ritual felt automatic. What small action could you finish daily that would build your confidence muscle? Jocko Willink's military experience reveals a pattern. New SEAL candidates aren't handed impossible drills. They master making their beds perfectly. This tiny daily win establishes control. When Ravi struggled with fitness, he adapted this. His goal, put on running shoes every morning for a week. No running required. Day 4, he thought, I'm already wearing them, and jogged 60 seconds. That micro-run became his turning point. 3 principles for engineering your first win. 1. Link it to your why. Chloe wrote for her late mother who loved stories. 2. Make it laughably achievable. Ravi's shoe ritual took 90 seconds. 3. Create tangible proof. Ben framed his exam results. Chloe printed pages. Avoid dismissing small victories. Lena almost overlooked her win of cooking healthy meals 3 nights straight. But when she texted a photo to her accountability partner, their celebration, "That salmon looks incredible," cemented her pride. She began a win jar, dropping in notes like, "Resisted office donuts today." 6 months later, rereading them carried her through a stressful week. These initial triumphs create ripple effects. Chloe's writing habit improved her work reports. Ravi's runs led to better sleep, then punctuality. Why? Early wins build what psychologists call self-efficacy, the bedrock belief that your actions create change. Each success makes the next effort feel 18% easier according to habit studies. Your challenge now. Identify one microscopic goal connected to your deepest why. Could it be 5 minutes of meditation? 1 saved dollar? A single email cleared from your inbox? Execute it consistently for 7 days. When you complete that cycle, pause. Taste the satisfaction. How might this small proof of capability alter what you attempt next? Chapter 2. Building Better Habits. Part 1. The Habit Loop. Imagine discovering a simple pattern that explains why you automatically grab a snack when stressed, or why your phone seems glued to your hand during work breaks. Habits aren't mysterious forces. They follow a predictable 3-step cycle that, once understood, puts you back in control. This section reveals how cues trigger routines that deliver rewards, forming invisible behavior chains. You'll learn to spot your personal habit loops through everyday examples, then discover practical ways to adjust them. By mapping your own cycles, you'll transform discipline from exhausting willpower battles into manageable tweaks of existing patterns, creating lasting change almost effortlessly. Consider Priya, who checks social media every time her computer screen buffers. The buffering prompts scrolling, routine for distraction relief, reward. Her brain linked these steps through repetition. What happens if she replaces scrolling with stretching during buffering? She still gets mental relief, but builds a healthier habit. This cue routine reward loop operates beneath our awareness, which is why Leo never noticed how his afternoon coffee aroma, cue, led to sugary snacks, routine, for an energy spike, reward. To identify your loops, carry a small notebook for 3 days. Jot down: 1. What happened right before a habit? Time, location, emotion. 2. The exact behavior. 3. How you felt afterward. Priya realized her scrolling wasn't about boredom. it was avoiding frustration. Leo discovered his snack craving peaked not when hungry, but when smelling coffee. What recurring situation often leads to habits you'd like to change? Rewards are tricky because they're not always obvious. When Anna tried quitting late-night TV, she felt restless. Only after journaling did she recognize the reward wasn't entertainment. It was mental separation from work stress. She kept the cue, feeling overwhelmed, and reward, mental shift, but changed her routine to brewing herbal tea while reviewing family photos. After 2 weeks, her brain accepted the new routine because the reward remained. Which of your habits might have hidden rewards? Practical adjustments work best when small. Instead of no more snacks, Leo switched to almonds during coffee breaks. Same cue and reward, better routine. Priya set a 2-minute phone timer during buffering. When it buzzed, she'd stand up. These minor tweaks avoid the brain's resistance to drastic change. What tiny routine swap could you test tomorrow? Remember, failed habits often mean misidentified rewards. When Ben stopped checking emails first thing, he replaced it with planning his day, but felt anxious. His real reward was certainty about priorities. He adjusted by spending 3 minutes reviewing his calendar instead. Now the cue, morning alarm, triggers calendar checking, routine, delivering clarity, reward. These insights show why discipline feels hard when fighting entire loops, but manageable when adjusting one piece. Like rewiring a familiar path, your brain cooperates when cues and rewards stay recognizable. Next, we'll explore how such minor changes create massive long-term shifts. But for now, pick one habit loop, map it, then experiment with altering just the routine. Notice what happens. Your coffee break or computer buffer just became a disciplined training ground. Part 2. Tiny changes, big impact. Consider the power of starting absurdly small. After learning how habit loops work, you might feel ready to overhaul your life. But what if the secret lies not in grand gestures but microscopic shifts? Meet Elena, who dreamed of running a marathon but couldn't jog for 5 minutes. Her breakthrough came when she committed to simply putting on her running shoes after breakfast every day, no requirement to run. Within weeks, lacing up felt automatic, and she naturally added short walks. 8 months later, she completed her first 5K. This illustrates a core truth. Massive transformations often begin with steps so tiny they feel meaningless. Why do such small actions work? They bypass resistance. Think of Carlos, overwhelmed by debt. Instead of drastic budgets, he started saving loose change in a jar each evening. This took 20 seconds but created a daily win. Within a year, his insignificant coins funded an emergency repair without credit cards. When have you tried changing too much at once? What happened? Tiny habits build momentum because they require minimal willpower. Like compound interest, their effects multiply silently. Implementing this requires deliberate simplicity. First, pick a target habit, say reading more. Scale it down. Read 1 paragraph after brushing my teeth. Next, anchor it to an existing routine, called habit stacking. Finally, celebrate immediately, even mentally saying yes. Wires your brain for reward. Priya used this for meditation. She began with 1 mindful breath while waiting for her coffee to brew. 6 months later, she meditates 10 minutes daily. Her initial goal, just exhale slowly once. Common pitfalls include impatience and underestimating small gains. Remember, consistency beats intensity. Leo aimed to write a book but quit after marathon sessions left him drained. He switched to writing 2 sentences each morning. Some days became pages, others stayed minimal. After 200 days, he had a manuscript. What big goal could you shrink into a 2-minute daily action? These micro changes reshape identity. When Omar flossed just 1 tooth nightly, yes 1, he stopped seeing himself as someone who neglects dental health. That self-image shift fueled broader hygiene improvements. Each tiny act is a vote for who you become. Resistance fades when the bar is laughably low. Stuck in a career rut? Send 1 professional email daily. Want healthier eating? Add 1 vegetable to your dinner plate. These require no extra time or grit, yet repeated consistently, they forge neural pathways that make growth automatic. Next, we'll explore how to maintain these habits when motivation dips, but for now, choose 1 change. Make it small enough to do in under 2 minutes. Do it today, then repeat tomorrow. Watch how microscopic steps build bridges to monumental change. Part 3. Sticking with it. Starting small is powerful, but life often interrupts even our tiniest habits. This section tackles the reality of setbacks, those days when motivation vanishes or distractions take over. You'll discover practical tools to keep moving forward, like leveraging accountability partners, tracking progress visually, and reshaping your surroundings. Real stories show how ordinary people bounced back after slip-ups, proving that discipline isn't about perfection but persistence. Learn to treat mistakes with kindness, not criticism, and build habits that survive chaos. Priya committed to writing one sentence daily after work. For weeks, she thrived until her cat got sick. Vet visits drained her energy, and writing stopped. She felt defeated, but instead of quitting, she texted her friend Omar, "Missed 3 days? Help me restart tomorrow?" Omar became her accountability partner, sending a daily sentence done check-in. Priya resumed within a week. Her slip became a lesson. Sharing goals builds a safety net. When you stumble, who's your Omar? Habit tracking turns invisible progress into visible wins. Leo, an artist, aimed to sketch for 10 minutes daily. He hung a calendar by his desk, marking an X each day he drew. When his child's school play disrupted his routine, he skipped 2 days. Seeing the blank squares bothered him. On day 3, he sketched during lunch, not at his desk, just to keep the chain alive. This "don't break the chain" method, inspired by comedian Jerry Seinfeld, works because streaks motivate us. Miss once? Forgive yourself. Miss twice? That's the real danger. Your environment can sabotage or support you. Maya struggled to read nightly because her phone buzzed beside her bed. She bought a $5 alarm clock, banished her phone to the living room, and placed her book on her pillow each morning. Temptation faded, reading became automatic. What one tweak would make your habit easier today? Setbacks test resolve, but self-compassion fuels comebacks. Ken missed his morning run during a work trip. Old habits whispered, "You've failed." Instead, he acknowledged, "Travel threw me off. I'll run tomorrow." He ran a shorter route, but ran. Research shows treating yourself kindly after lapses boosts long-term success far more than self-punishment. Discipline is a practice, not an endpoint. Elena, a teacher, built a meditation habit over years. She quit after her move, restarted during a stressful term, then paused when her father fell ill. Each restart felt frustrating, yet she'd recall her why: clarity for her students. Today, she meditates 4 days a week, not 7, and calls it victory. Like Elena, focus on showing up again, not flawless streaks. Next, we'll examine how to dismantle stubborn negative cycles. But first, ask, what habit have you abandoned that's worth reviving? Part 4. Breaking the cycle. Negative habits often trap us in cycles that feel impossible to escape. Take Leo, a graphic designer who felt drained by midday. His pattern, stress at work, triggered scrolling through social media, leading to hours lost and guilt. This section reveals how to spot and shatter these self-defeating loops. You'll learn to identify hidden triggers, swap damaging routines for empowering ones, and leverage support systems. Real stories show it's possible, and you'll gain practical tools to replace exhaustion with energy, distraction with focus, and frustration with control. Let's examine how ordinary people rewired their daily patterns. Leo noticed his habit always started when facing a complex design task. His cue. The scrolling offered temporary relief, reward, but left him behind schedule. To break this, he changed his environment, placing his phone in a drawer during work hours. He replaced scrolling with a 2-minute breathing exercise that delivered similar calm without wasted time. After 3 failed attempts, Leo asked his coworker Priya to check his progress daily. Small adjustments created big change. Within weeks, his productivity soared. Why do negative cycles persist? Habits operate on autopilot. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition, making unconscious actions feel effortless. Research confirms it takes consistent intervention to rewire them. When did you last feel stuck in a behavior you knew harmed your goals? Consider these steps to disrupt destructive patterns. 1. Map your loop. For 1 week, journal the cue, e.g. afternoon fatigue, routine, buying sugary snacks, and reward energy spike. 2. Redesign triggers. If emails trigger stress eating, schedule specific times to check them instead of constant notifications. 3. Swap routines. Replace the habit with a healthier alternative that satisfies the same craving. Need distraction? Try a brisk walk instead of online shopping, Maria. A nurse battled late-night snacking while watching TV. She discovered her real reward was relaxation, not hunger. She swapped chips for herbal tea and added cozy lighting, keeping the reward but changing the action. When she slipped during night shifts, she'd analyze the cause without self-criticism. Was I actually hungry or just tired? This curiosity helped her adjust tactics. Support systems accelerate change. Studies show sharing goals with one person increases success odds by 65%. Leo told Priya his plan. Maria joined a healthy habits group. Both created accountability without judgment. Who could gently nudge you back on track? Breaking cycles isn't about perfection. When environmental changes fail, add friction. Leo installed app blockers when drawer hiding wasn't enough. Maria kept snacks in hard-to-reach cabinets. Each tweak taught them about their triggers. Progress compounds. Leo's focus improvement helped him land a promotion. Maria lost 15 pounds over 6 months. Their secret? Treating setbacks as data points, not failures. You now hold the keys to dismantle what holds you back. Start small. Choose one habit loop to dismantle this week. Map it, alter one element, and observe what shifts. Lasting discipline grows from these intentional interruptions. Next, we'll explore how to cement these new patterns into lifelong strengths. Chapter 3. The Battle with Temptation. Part 1. Outwitting Distractions. Our days are filled with constant interruptions that pull us away from what truly matters. Phone notifications, overflowing inboxes, and tempting shortcuts quietly erode our focus. This section explores why these distractions feel so compelling and how to regain control. You'll discover practical methods to reshape your surroundings, establish clear limits, and use technology as an ally instead of an enemy. These approaches help you move beyond exhausting willpower battles towards sustainable focus. By the end, you'll have tools to shield your attention and maintain momentum toward your goals. Distractions thrive because they offer immediate comfort. Consider Ben, a graphic designer who planned to finish a client project by noon. Every time he encountered a complex design challenge, his phone buzzed with social media updates. Scrolling provided instant relief from frustration. This cycle, discomfort leading to distraction, repeats because our brains seek quick rewards. What small escape do you turn to when tasks feel overwhelming? Environment shapes behavior more than motivation. Ben realized his workspace worked against him. His desk faced a busy street and his phone charger sat beside his computer. He made 2 changes, moved his desk against a blank wall and placed his charger in another room. Suddenly, visual triggers vanished. Getting his phone required physical effort. Within days, his project completion time dropped by 30%. Like Ben, you can redesign spaces to support concentration, remove visible clutter, mute non-essential devices, and create a dedicated zone for deep work. Technology often fuels distraction, but can also fix it. Lena, a writer, wasted hours flipping between research tabs and news sites. She installed an app blocking distracting websites during work hours. Initially frustrating, this forced her to sit with boredom until ideas flowed. She now schedules 2 10-minute distraction breaks mid-morning and afternoon. This ritual satisfies her urge to browse without derailing progress. Which single digital habit drains your focus most, and what tool could contain it? Boundaries protect attention. Omar's team expected instant replies to messages, fragmenting his focus. He started announcing focus blocks on his calendar, 90-minute periods where he silenced notifications. Colleagues adapted when they saw consistent results. He also uses a physical signal. Closed door means do not disturb. Start small. Tell household members or coworkers, I need an hour of quiet time. I'll check messages at 10:30. Most people respect clear, reasonable requests. Self-discipline isn't about resisting temptation in the moment. It's about preventing those moments. Ben, Lena, and Omar succeeded by planning ahead. They identified personal distraction patterns and built systems to block them. What one change could you make tomorrow to reduce interruptions before they start? Small adjustments compound. A quieter room or a scheduled break rebuilds focus muscles gradually. Next, we'll explore strengthening those muscles further through targeted willpower practices. Part 2. The Willpower Toolbox. Imagine having a set of tools you can reach for when temptation strikes. This section offers exactly that. Concrete methods to build your inner strength. Research confirms willpower works like a muscle. It tires with use, but grows stronger through regular training. You'll discover techniques backed by science and tested in real life. We'll explore how brief mental exercises, simple language shifts, and strategic pauses create lasting change. By the end, you'll have practical options to try immediately. The key is personalization. What works for one person might differ for another. Your toolkit awaits. Consider Arjun, a graphic designer who struggled with afternoon snacking. He started visualizing his desired outcome each morning, seeing himself choosing an apple instead of cookies. This mental rehearsal activated the same brain regions used during actual self-control. After 2 weeks, his cravings lessened. Visualization prepares your mind for real challenges. What future success could you mentally rehearse today? Positive self-talk also reshapes behavior. Fatima, a student, noticed saying, "I can't skip gym," made her resent exercise. She switched to "I choose strength" and found workouts felt more voluntary. Studies show framing choices as affirmations reduces mental resistance. Your words steer your actions. What empowering phrase could replace a negative thought? Willpower depletes throughout the day. Leo, a nurse, inserted 90-second mindful pauses before difficult tasks. He'd breathe deeply while asking, "Is this aligned with my goals?" These micro breaks replenished his focus. Like resting between weight sets, brief recovery prevents burnout. When do you need scheduled pauses? Elena combined these tools while saving for a house. She visualized her dream kitchen, told herself, "I'm building security," and paused before impulse buys. Within a year, her savings grew 30% despite unexpected expenses. Start small to avoid overwhelming your willpower muscle. Practice one technique daily. Even 5 minutes matters. Track what works. Maybe visualization helps with diet, but mindful pauses aid work focus. Remember, depleted energy weakens resolve. Adequate sleep, hydration, and healthy snacks maintain your foundation. How might physical fuel boost your mental discipline? Experimentation is crucial. Ben tried meditation but found brisk walks clearer his mind better. Personalize relentlessly. Tools are useless if they don't fit your life. What single technique will you test tomorrow morning? Building consistent practice creates compounding results. Tiny actions, repeated, forge unshakable discipline. Next, we'll address how to recover when these tools aren't enough, because setbacks happen to everyone. Part 3. Bouncing back from slips. Consider Priya, who meticulously planned her mornings for a month, waking early, exercising, and tackling important tasks. Then her child got sick. Exhausted, she skipped her routine for 3 days straight. Guilt whispered, "You've failed, why bother?" This moment, familiar to anyone pursuing discipline, isn't failure. It's a universal human experience. Your ability to recover, not avoid slips, determines long-term success. We'll explore how to transform stumbles into momentum using practical strategies from resilience research. You'll learn to shorten recovery time, extract lessons, and strengthen resolve faster than before. Self-forgiveness is your first tool. Studies show self-criticism after a slip drains willpower, while self-compassion boosts motivation. When Priya missed workouts, she paused instead of spiraling. "This is hard right now, and that's okay," she told herself. Her energy shifted from shame to problem-solving. What specific phrase could you use to acknowledge a setback without judgment? Next, analyze the trigger objectively. Priya realized exhaustion was her tipping point. She prepared for future disruptions by creating a 5-minute emergency routine, stretching and planning her day for chaotic mornings. Leo, a freelance designer, noticed he skipped deep work sessions after client calls. He tracked his slips and discovered post-call fatigue made social media scrolling automatic. His solution? A 10-minute walk after calls to reset. Recommitting immediately is crucial. Research confirms that acting within 24 hours prevents small slips from becoming habits. Leo, after an unplanned fast food lunch, didn't wait for Monday. He texted his accountability partner and cooked a healthy dinner that night. What tiny action could you take today to reset after a slip? View setbacks as data, not defeat. Priya's failure revealed her routine needed flexibility for tough days. She now keeps a printed backup plan on her fridge. This mirrors elite athletes who review game footage, not to self-flagellate but to adjust tactics. Consider, when did a past setback later reveal a hidden weakness in your approach? How might documenting slips help you spot patterns? Resilience isn't avoiding falls, it's shortening the time between falling and rising. Priya now bounces back in hours, not days. Leo uses slips to refine his strategies monthly. Their discipline muscles strengthen through recovery, not perfection. Remember Ben from earlier? His failed meditation practice led to discovering walks worked better. Your next step? Expect slips. Normalize them. Then, like Priya and Leo, build a rebound ritual. Forgiveness, insight, that turns setbacks into progress engines. Next part, turning setbacks into strength. Part 4, turning setbacks into strength. Consider the moments when progress halts, a project stalls, a goal slips away, disappointment arrives. This section reveals how to convert these experiences into power. You'll discover why setbacks aren't dead ends, but detours toward greater resilience. Real stories show ordinary people extracting wisdom from failure and channeling frustration into determination. Practical methods help reframe obstacles as training grounds. By examining what went wrong without self-judgment, you gain insights no smooth path provides. You'll learn to mine setbacks for hidden lessons about your priorities, boundaries, and untapped capabilities. The result? Each stumble becomes a stepping stone. Take Rohan, an app developer. His first product launch flopped when users found it confusing. For 3 days, he replayed the negative reviews. Then he asked, what specific design flaws caused this confusion? He realized his testing group was too small. That setback taught him to involve diverse testers early. His next version succeeded because he'd transformed criticism into a checklist. How might your recent disappointment contain a hidden improvement guide? Setbacks expose what matters most. When Priya's bakery failed, she initially saw only loss. Then she noticed something. Customers kept asking for her gluten-free recipes. That failure spotlighted a niche she'd underestimated. She reopened as a specialty supplier, tripling her income. The collapse forced clarity she'd missed during smooth operations. Here's a practical reframing method, the 3L approach. First, log the facts objectively. I skipped 5 gym sessions because work overran. Next, locate the lesson. I need stricter boundaries between job hours and personal time. Finally, leverage the emotion. Channel frustration into scheduling workouts as non-negotiable appointments. Kiran missed a promotion after his team missed quarterly targets. His anger threatened to derail him. Instead, he analyzed his leadership gaps. He discovered he'd delegated poorly under pressure. That insight became his development focus. Within months, his team's efficiency improved 40%. The overlooked promotion became irrelevant when he earned a bigger role. What outdated assumption about yourself might a setback shatter? Remember, resilience isn't ignoring pain. It's letting discomfort point toward growth. Lena abandoned her novel draft after writer's block. The quitting felt like defeat. Yet during her break, she volunteered at a community center and found her real passion. Her failed manuscript had freed her to discover meaningful work. Each setback carries data about your limits, distractions, or misaligned goals. Collect that data. Document what triggered the stumble. Was exhaustion a factor? Unrealistic timelines? External pressures? These patterns reveal where to fortify your discipline. Now consider, if your biggest failure became your most useful teacher, what would it say? This mindset shift turns victims into architects. Omar's startup collapsed when funding vanished. Rather than blaming investors, he scrutinized his pitch. He'd focused on features instead of customer pain points. That lesson shaped his next venture, which attracted backing immediately. The collapse became his competitive edge. Your journey through distractions, willpower building, and recovery has forged a crucial skill, extracting gold from rubble. When temptation wins or plans derail, you're no longer starting over. You're upgrading. Every setback now equips you with sharper focus, clearer priorities, and hardened resolve, the true weapons for battles ahead. Chapter 4, The Freedom of Discipline. Part 1, Routines that Liberate. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, your day unfolding smoothly without constant choices draining your energy. This isn't about rigid schedules or harsh self-denial. It's about designing simple patterns that create space for what truly matters to you. When we establish intentional routines, we trade the chaos of endless decisions for mental clarity. This section shows how everyday habits become invisible scaffolds, freeing your mind from clutter so you can focus on creativity, relationships, and growth. You'll discover practical ways to build routines aligned with your deepest values, turning discipline into a tool for genuine liberation. Consider Leo, a graphic designer who felt constantly overwhelmed. Mornings involved debating breakfast options, scrolling social media and hunting for misplaced keys, leaving him drained before work. His afternoons vanished in reactive tasks, with no energy left for his passion project, illustrating children's books. Leo's breakthrough came when he established two non-negotiable routines: a 6 a.m. walk with his dog, followed by 90 minutes of focused drawing. By automating his start, same simple breakfast, keys always on the hook, and protecting his creative block, he reduced morning decisions by 80%. Within months, Leo completed his first book. The routine didn't cage him. It bulldozed obstacles so his creativity could run wild. Why does this work? Our brains have limited decision-making capacity. Like a phone battery, each choice, even trivial ones like picking socks or answering emails, drains energy. Research confirms willpower depletes with overuse, leaving us vulnerable to procrastination or poor choices later. Routines conserve this mental fuel. Think of them as autopilot for mundane tasks, reserving your focus for high-impact work or spontaneous joy. What daily decision exhausts you most? Could systematizing it reclaim mental space? Effective routines share three traits. They're personal, purposeful, and flexible. Start by identifying one pinch point in your day, a recurring stressor like chaotic mornings or distracted work hours. Next, link new habits to existing ones, called habit stacking. For example, after I pour my coffee, I'll write 3 priorities for the day. Keep changes small initially. A 5-minute meditation before checking your phone is more sustainable than a drastic overhaul. Elena, a nurse, used this method to combat evening burnout. She replaced 30 minutes of news scrolling with a kitchen dance party while cooking dinner. This tiny shift lifted her mood and improved family connections. Case study: Omar ran a bakery but neglected his health, constantly choosing work over exercise. He began scheduling 20-minute walks at 3 p.m., right after the lunch rush. He kept running shoes by the ovens as a visual cue. Within weeks, these walks became non-negotiable reset buttons. Not only did his energy improve, but solutions to business challenges often emerged during these walks. His routine created freedom within his constraints. Routines thrive when they align with your values. Ask, does this habit move me toward my bigger goals? If family matters most, a Saturday morning board game ritual beats rigid productivity tracking. If creativity is key, blocking 2 distraction-free hours yields more than cramming in 15-minute increments. Remember Kalinda, who dreamed of learning guitar? She practiced scales while her laundry dried. By pairing practice with an unavoidable chore, she progressed without sacrificing time. Discipline's power lies in its ripple effects. When routines handle logistics, your mind unlocks playful thinking. Leo designs faster because he's not mentally replaying morning chaos. Omar innovates bakery recipes while walking. What dormant project could you revive with 30 minutes of guarded focus? True freedom isn't an absence of structure. It's the space structure creates. Your routine isn't a cage. It's the trellis helping your best self bloom. Part 2. Deep work, deep rewards. Imagine finishing your most important task by lunchtime. Picture the calm satisfaction of knowing you've moved the needle on something meaningful. This isn't fantasy. It's the reality of deep work. When you immerse yourself completely in one valuable task without distraction, you accomplish more in hours than others do in days. This section reveals practical methods to cultivate that intense focus. You'll discover how this approach transforms not just your output, but your energy and confidence. Real people achieve extraordinary results this way. Let's explore how you can too. Consider Priya, a graphic designer. She used to juggle emails, social media, and design projects simultaneously. Her days felt frantic, yet projects dragged on for weeks. After reading about focus techniques, she made one change: turning off notifications for 2-hour blocks each morning. During these periods, she tackled complex design tasks exclusively. The first week was challenging, but soon she completed projects 40% faster. What task do you frequently start but rarely finish due to interruptions? Deep work means sustained concentration on a single demanding activity. Think of it like diving into a pool. You're fully submerged, not splashing at the surface. Cal Newport's research shows this approach helps knowledge workers produce better quality work in less time. Take Thomas, a software developer. He struggled with bug fixes that should have taken hours, stretching into days. Then he began scheduling focus sprints. 90-minute sessions where he closed all apps except his coding program. He kept a notebook beside him to jot down unrelated thoughts. Result? He solved complex problems 3 times faster. His secret? He prepared his workspace beforehand. Water bottle, noise-canceling headphones, and a clear goal written down. How could you prepare your environment for deeper focus? Multitasking sabotages progress. Studies confirm that shifting between tasks can waste 20–40% of your productive time. When your attention fractures, your brain expends energy restarting each task. Elena, a marketing manager, learned this after tracking her time. She realized she checked email 50 times daily, breaking her concentration constantly. She started batching communications, responding only at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Her campaign development time dropped from 3 weeks to 10 days. She experienced an unexpected bonus, less mental fatigue. Where do you lose focus most often? Implementing deep work requires strategy. Start small. Protect just 25 minutes daily for uninterrupted work on your highest priority task. Set a visible timer. When distractions arise, note them and return to your work. Gradually increase these sessions. Successful practitioners like author J.K. Rowling famously isolate themselves during creative periods. You don't need a castle, just consistent boundaries. Fatima, a graduate student, struggled with thesis writing until she booked a quiet library carrel every morning. She entered with a specific question to answer during each session. Within months, her draft was complete. What single priority deserves your undivided attention today? The rewards extend beyond efficiency. Ravi, a teacher who dedicated focused time to lesson planning, found his classroom engagement soared. Students noticed his renewed passion. He also reclaimed evenings for family. No more grading papers until midnight. This reflects research linking deep work with increased job satisfaction. When you produce meaningful work, you build confidence. You sleep better knowing you've accomplished something substantial. Isn't that more fulfilling than crossing off 10 trivial tasks? True discipline isn't harsh restriction. It's creating space for what matters. Like Priya and Tomas, you'll find that periods of concentration become sanctuaries of progress. The initial effort pays exponential dividends. As we'll see next, this focused persistence builds extraordinary resilience over time. Part 3. Stories of Grit. Consider the everyday struggles we all face. Delayed dreams, unexpected setbacks, mounting pressures. Now imagine confronting those while carrying unimaginable burdens. This section brings you true accounts of ordinary people who transformed crushing challenges into extraordinary victories through sheer persistence. You'll meet a mother escaping poverty, a veteran rebuilding his body, and an entrepreneur who failed forward. Their journeys reveal that grit isn't inherited. It's forged through daily choices to keep moving despite exhaustion, fear, or failure. These aren't superhero tales. They're blueprints showing how consistent effort, fueled by purpose, can reshape any life. Let their resilience inspire your next step. Zara juggled 3 minimum-wage jobs while raising 2 toddlers in a cramped apartment. When her landlord raised the rent, eviction loomed. Instead of panicking, she committed to 1 focused hour each night after her children slept, studying online accounting courses. Some nights, exhaustion made her eyelids heavy. What small step can you take tonight toward a neglected goal? Within 2 years, Zara earned her certification. Today, she manages finances for local businesses. Her income tripled. Her kids have their own rooms. Her secret? Tiny gains add up, she says. 5 minutes of progress still moves you forward. Leo lost his right leg during military service. Doctors warned he might never walk without assistance. During rehabilitation, he set micro goals, shifting his weight for 30 seconds, standing unaided for 1 breath, then 2. When phantom pain struck, he visualized teaching other amputees to hike. When did you last surprise yourself by exceeding your perceived limits? 16 months later, Leo climbed Machu Picchu using a prosthetic. His turning point came when he stopped counting milestones and focused on daily discipline. The mountain was conquered 1 stubborn step at a time. Elena's bakery collapsed during an economic downturn, burying her in debt. Many urged her to find stable work. Instead, she spent mornings analyzing her failures, poor cash flow management, inconsistent quality, while afternoons testing recipes at a community kitchen. Her breakthrough came when local restaurants started ordering her artisan breads. Today, Alina supplies 40 stores and mentors food startups. She credits her comeback to treating discipline as a friendly coach. It whispers, "Try again smarter when you want to quit." Notice what unites them. Passion provided direction, persistence built momentum, and reframing failure removed its sting. Zara saw education as liberation, not exhaustion. Leo treated rehab as a mission. Elena dissected bankruptcy without shame. Research confirms this mindset shift is trainable, like strengthening a muscle through repetition. Your journey won't mirror theirs, but the principles translate. Start small. Commit to 10 minutes daily on your most daunting task. Track progress visually. A calendar checkmark chain works wonders. When motivation dips, ask, "How would future me remember this moment?" That mental time travel often sparks action. These stories prove that disciplined action creates freedom from fear, stagnation, and self-doubt. As you'll discover next, that liberation becomes the foundation for your highest potential. Part 4. Becoming your best self. Consider this. The freedom you've gained through disciplined action isn't just an endpoint, it's your launch pad. What if you channeled that hard-won liberation into building your most extraordinary life? This section shows how self-discipline transforms daily choices into stepping stones toward your highest potential. You'll discover practical ways to define your best self, embrace growth-focused challenges, and turn ordinary moments into progress. Through real examples and reflective questions, you'll learn to align daily actions with your deepest aspirations, making personal evolution an intentional, rewarding journey. Picture Ravi, a graphic designer who used discipline to overcome creative blocks. With that foundation, he asked himself, "What would my most fulfilled self look like in 5 years?" He envisioned leading community art projects. Rather than feeling overwhelmed, Ravi broke this vision into micro-actions. Researching local grants every Monday, sketching concepts for 20 minutes daily. Within months, he secured funding for a mural project involving local youth. What small step could bring your vision closer today? Self-discipline turns distant dreams into tangible realities. Fatima dreamed of writing novels but felt stuck in her accounting job. She started treating her writing like a vital appointment, waking 90 minutes early to write 500 words. At first, progress felt slow, but she celebrated finishing each chapter by sharing excerpts with friends. 2 years later, her debut novel landed a publishing deal. Her secret? Viewing discipline not as deprivation, but as devotion to her future self. When have you sacrificed short-term comfort for long-term growth? Research confirms that people who link habits to their core values sustain effort longer. Consider Ben, a teacher who valued mentorship. His best self goal involved creating online resources for struggling students. He dedicated Saturday mornings to recording bite-sized lessons. By framing this work as an expression of care, not an obligation, he maintained consistency even during hectic school terms. How might your deepest values shape your daily discipline? Challenges become easier when you anticipate them. Lena knew her fitness goals would waver during winter. She preemptively joined a virtual running group for accountability. When motivation dipped, her commitment to the group kept her moving. This mirrors findings on temptation bundling, pairing difficult tasks with enjoyable rewards. Lena rewarded her cold weather runs with cozy cafe visits afterward. What potential obstacles could you plan for now? Progress thrives on recognition. Omar tracked his language learning streak in a vivid green notebook. Each week, without missing practice, he added a sticker his daughter chose. This visual cue reinforced his identity as someone who perseveres. Studies show such small celebrations release dopamine, wiring your brain to repeat disciplined behavior. When did you last pause to acknowledge your growth? Your best self emerges through consistent iteration, not perfection. Annika aimed to reduce work stress through meditation. Some days, she managed 15 minutes, others, just 2 breaths at her desk. Instead of self-criticism, she reflected weekly. What made focus days easier? She discovered morning meditation worked best after laying out her clothes the night before. This adjustment led to 90% consistency within a month. What tiny refinement could improve your routine? Self-discipline is the quiet engine of self-actualization. It transforms one day into today, potential into presence. As you build your liberated life brick by brick, remember, every intentional action is a vote for the person you're becoming. What will your next vote be? Chapter 5. The Journey Continues. Part 1. Everyday Victories. Consider the power of ordinary moments. This section reveals how celebrating small daily triumphs fuels lasting self-discipline. You'll discover practical methods to notice and honor your progress through relatable stories and straightforward techniques. These everyday victories become stepping stones, transforming discipline from struggle to satisfaction. By recognizing minor wins, you build confidence that compounds over time. Let's explore how this approach turns the journey itself into a reward. Picture Priya, who struggled to wake up early. Instead of aiming for dramatic 5 a.m. alarms, she celebrated getting up just 10 minutes earlier than usual. She wrote this small win in a notebook. Tuesday, woke before alarm. After a week, those minutes added up. That notebook became proof she could change. What minor effort have you made today that deserves recognition? Research confirms that acknowledging progress rewires our brains. Each small win releases dopamine, creating positive reinforcement. This chemical boost makes repeating disciplined actions easier. Leo used this principle while saving money. Rather than stressing over large sums, he celebrated skipping daily takeout coffee. He transferred those $5 savings to a jar labeled Small Wins Fund. After 3 months, he bought new hiking boots with the accumulated cash, a visible reward for daily choices. Keeping a victory journal makes progress tangible. Use a simple notebook or phone app. Every evening, note one specific disciplined action. It could be finished work task before lunch or walked 15 minutes. Maya did this while learning guitar. Her early entries read, practiced 5 minutes. Months later, she laughed seeing those notes while playing full songs. How might documenting your efforts change your perspective? These victories combat discouragement. When Ben's business faced setbacks, he reviewed his victory journal. Seeing entries like researched solutions for 20 minutes reminded him of his capability during tough times. This practice creates resilience, not through huge leaps, but through consistent proof of effort. Notice that small wins build momentum. Kaido wanted to read more, but felt overwhelmed. He started with 1 page nightly. Soon, he naturally read longer sessions. His victory journal showed this gradual shift. Page 1 became Chapter 3. This illustrates James Clear's atomic habits principle. Tiny changes create remarkable results when sustained. Celebrate effort, not just outcomes. When Nina meditated for 90 seconds instead of skipping it, she wrote, showed up. This shifted her focus from perfection to participation. Within weeks, her sessions lengthened naturally. What showing up moment can you honor today? These daily victories make discipline sustainable. They transform the path itself into a series of rewards, not just a means to distant goals. By valuing small steps, you build lifelong habits. This foundation prepares you to maintain momentum even when motivation fades, a natural bridge to staying inspired long-term. Part 2. Staying inspired. Imagine hitting a wall months into your disciplined routine. That initial excitement fades, and tasks feel like chores. This section tackles that exact challenge. You'll learn proven methods to reignite your drive when motivation dips. We'll explore how adjusting your goals, finding fresh challenges, and connecting with the right people can transform weariness into renewed energy. Discover why lifelong learning and curiosity are your best allies for keeping discipline vibrant. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical tools used by real people to push through plateaus. By the end, you'll have clear actions to maintain momentum and make your journey consistently rewarding. Motivation naturally rises and falls. Think of it like weather. Some days are sunny, others stormy. Relying solely on feeling inspired is like building a house on sand. Discipline provides the foundation, but even then, you need strategies for those cloudy days. Consider Ben, a graphic designer. After 6 months of disciplined client work, he felt drained. His projects became repetitive and his passion dimmed. Sound familiar? This slump is common, not failure. Ben's first step was revisiting his original goal, to create designs that help small businesses thrive. He'd lost sight of this purpose while chasing deadlines. He wrote it on a sticky note, "Help them shine." Suddenly, a routine logo redesign felt meaningful again. When your energy lags, ask, why did I start this? What deeper need does it fulfill? Reconnecting with your why acts like a compass. It shifts focus from grinding tasks to meaningful impact. Next, Ben sought a new challenge. He enrolled in a weekend animation course, something entirely different from his daily work. Learning a fresh skill sparked curiosity and made his main projects feel less monotonous. Like Ben, inject novelty when things get stale. Take Rosa, a nurse who jogged daily but grew bored. She joined a weekend hiking group. The new terrain and social element reignited her love for movement. What skill or activity could you try to add excitement? Supportive people matter immensely. Ben joined an online design community. Sharing struggles and wins with peers reminded him he wasn't alone. One member, Fiona, suggested collaborating on a pro bono project for a local bakery. This rekindled Ben's joy in creating. Surround yourself with those who uplift and challenge you. If your current circle drains your energy, seek new connections, clubs, online forums, or mentors. Who genuinely cheers your progress? Limit time with naysayers. Their doubt is contagious. Continuous learning keeps discipline fresh. Treat your journey like exploring a city, not marching down a single road. Read broadly, take short courses, or attend workshops. Lena, an accountant, felt stuck after years in her role. She started studying basic coding through free online tutorials. This didn't change her job immediately, but it sparked mental agility that improved her problem-solving at work. Knowledge builds confidence, making tough tasks feel manageable. When inspiration lags, combine these tactics. Ben revisited his goal, learned animation, and leaned on his community. Within weeks, his work felt vibrant again. He even used his new skills to add subtle motion to client logos, delighting them. Small pivots prevent burnout. What's one tiny change you could make today to rekindle curiosity? Remember, discipline isn't about relentless grind. It's about building a resilient system that thrives even when motivation wanes. By weaving in purpose, challenge, support, and growth, you turn plateaus into launching pads. This sustained energy doesn't just maintain progress, it makes the journey itself an adventure. Part 3. Helping others grow. Imagine the spark that ignites when you help someone else find their footing. This section shows how supporting others' growth strengthens your own discipline while creating waves of positive change. You'll discover practical ways to guide friends or colleagues through their struggles, using real stories that prove mentorship isn't about having all the answers. It's about walking alongside others. When Fatima shared her morning routine with a struggling coworker, she didn't just help him, she reinforced her own habits. We'll explore how these connections build mutual resilience and turn individual progress into shared triumph. Consider Arjun, who felt stuck in his goal to write daily. His friend Elena, who'd built her own writing habit, simply asked, "What's one sentence you could write right now?" That question shifted Arjun's focus from perfection to possibility. Soon, he was writing paragraphs daily. Elena's support didn't drain her. It reminded her why discipline mattered. When you guide others, you revisit your core principles. Think of it like teaching someone to ride a bike. You steady them while recalling your own balance. What small step could you help someone take today? At a tech startup, manager Leo noticed his team avoiding tough tasks. Instead of lecturing, he shared his 2-minute rule. If a task takes under 2 minutes, do it immediately. He modeled this by tackling quick emails first thing. Within weeks, his team adopted it, reducing procrastination. Leo's own focus sharpened as he saw others succeed. This mirrors research showing that groups with shared accountability reach goals 76% faster. Your actions create a mirror. Others see what's possible. Mentorship thrives on simplicity. Start by listening. When Priya's brother struggled with saving money, she asked, "What's one expense you'd happily skip this week?" He chose takeout coffee, saving $20. Priya then matched his savings, doubling his motivation. Next, share struggles, not just wins. Admitting your past failures makes growth feel achievable. Finally, celebrate small progress. When young artist Diego showed his mentor a messy sketch pad, she said, "Tell me about your favorite line." That question honored his effort and fueled his next draft. Who in your life needs acknowledgement more than advice? Communities amplify discipline. Book clubs, running groups, or work pods create gentle pressure to show up. After Baker Rosa joined a small business circle, members traded tips on pre-dawn productivity. Rosa began waking earlier, not just for herself but to contribute ideas. Her sales rose 30%, and so did others. This ripple effect transforms neighborhoods and workplaces. A study found people with supportive friends are 42% more likely to maintain new habits. Your growth inspires others, theirs lifts you. What group could you join or start this month? Helping others is the quiet engine of lasting discipline. As you guide someone over a hurdle, you reinforce the path you've built. Your journey becomes a lantern for others, lighting both their way and your own. Part 4. Writing your own story. Your journey has already lit paths for others. Now it's time to turn that light inward and shape what comes next. This is where you become the author of your life's next chapters. You've built habits, overcome obstacles, and helped others do the same. What story will you write with these tools? We'll explore how to set fresh goals that excite you, design your growth path, and use discipline as your writing instrument. Real stories will show this process in action, and thoughtful questions will help you outline your narrative. You'll see how ordinary people crafted extraordinary futures simply by deciding what to write next. Imagine Leo, who spent years building a running habit and mentoring others at his local track club. One rainy Tuesday, he asked himself, "What mountain haven't I climbed yet?" He realized he'd never pursued his childhood dream of writing, so Leo began waking 30 minutes earlier each day, using that quiet time to draft short stories. At first, his sentences stumbled like tired legs on a steep trail. But just as he'd built running endurance through daily laps, he treated writing as a muscle to strengthen. 6 months later, he completed his first novella. Leo didn't change his core discipline. He redirected it toward new horizons. What forgotten dream might your current habits serve? Discipline is your pen, but you choose the story. Maria used her budgeting skills, honed over years of careful spending, to fund landscape photography trips. Her before self saw only grocery receipts and bills. Her after self saw compositions in morning fog over wheat fields. She didn't need more willpower, just a fresh application of her existing focus. Studies show people who frame goals as identity shifts, "I am a photographer," rather than tasks, "I must save money," are 3 times more likely to persist. How could your proven strengths unlock a new self-image? Set goals that make your heart beat faster. After Kai helped his coworkers improve customer service routines, he felt restless. During a lunch break, he scribbled, "What would thrill me this year?" His answer? Designing tiny homes. He broke this vision into weekly actions, studying blueprints Saturday mornings, visiting modular home factories, making the enormous dream manageable. Within a year, he'd built a backyard studio prototype. Kai's story reveals a truth. Bold goals aren't about size, but personal meaning. What 5-word phrase describes your thrilling next chapter? Your story evolves through constant editing. When Priya's bakery succeeded, she could have stopped. Instead, she asked, "Where does this plot twist lead?" She began donating day-old pastries to shelters, discovering new purpose in reducing food waste. This pivot felt natural because she viewed discipline not as a rigid rulebook, but as a living narrative. Research indicates that people who reflect monthly on their progress adjust goals 34% more effectively than annual planners. Try this tonight. Sketch 2 possible futures. One if your habits stay unchanged, another if you steer them deliberately. Which story feels truer? Now the blank page waits. You've guided others. You've celebrated small wins. Your discipline has been a bridge. Cross it toward territory that excites you. Leo's writing, Maria's photography, Kai's designs, and Priya's community work all started with one decision. This matters. Your next sentence begins today. What will it say?